die too young. 100 miles per hour, might smash if the kid die young. Pushing to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'm a big place, so my name is Stone. My name is Stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. My name is Stone.
What's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got something a little bit different for you. I have a 2008 Honda Accord timing job on the K24. This is my girlfriend's car. It started doing the chatter on startup a couple months ago, and now it's gotten to where it'll start chattering going down the road. So we're gonna go ahead and change these intake and exhaust sprockets on the cams, timing chain, guides, and the tensioner. What causes it is the intake sprocket, and it's like an actuator, and it goes bad. So we're gonna go ahead and get this done before the drift season gets here, because you know, happy girlfriend equals happy drift season. So I'm gonna jump straight into the tear down of things. The first thing that has to come off is the power steering reservoir. It's just gotta be moved to make it easier to get to the engine mount. I gotta pull the reservoir, power steering pump, engine covers, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull the tire and jack up the motor just a little bit, just to relieve the pressure off of this engine motor mount. And we're gonna pull the motor mount and then the bracket that stays on the timing cover for the motor mount. You don't have to take any bolts out. For the power steering, there's a little quick release tab. It's a metal tab. And then just pull up on your power steering pump. Oh, that's loose. Pull his belts off the power steering. I can take the belt, and I'm just kind of push it down out the way. Then we're gonna take our deep 14 with the extension and get the power steering pump off. There's 2 bolts. Break that one loose because the extension's too big for that spot. I'm probably not gonna need the extension actually. And just get this lower one. Alright, those 2 are loose. There's the bracket right here, the power steering line. Pull that out, 10 mil. Now that and the reservoir is loose. So I can get it out the way for a second. Next we gotta get the 3 bolts out of this part of the engine mount. It's a 17. Then there's 1 ground attached to this part of the bracket. Now that piece is off. Next is to get the second part of the engine mount that's attached to the timing cover. It's a 14. Alright, so there's 3 bolts that hold the sub engine mount on the timing cover. All 3 bolts on this sub engine mount are different lengths, so pay attention to that. It's pretty simple though, it kind of shows you just the thickness of the bracket is the longer bolt. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the belt out. Maybe. Now once you're to this point, you got your crank pulley to pull off. You gotta unplug the camshaft sensor. I think that's what that is right there. But unplug that sensor. Pull your 2 plastic covers off the top of the engine and unplug the spark plug harness and get that out the way. and then pull your valve cover. Go ahead and pop these engine covers off. Golly. Somebody was Hulk. Now it's time for the valve cover. To get the crank pulley off, I ended up getting a Lisle weighted socket. It's called a Harmonic balancer puller. It's just a really thick socket. It's pretty heavy, so we're gonna try that. I got my Milwaukee brushless. Oh yeah. Like butter. I tried a few things that didn't work. And I took it right off. First try. Now it's time for the timing cover. The first thing I'm gonna get is the 3 hard ones coming from the oil pan. These 3 10 mils, and then I'm gonna get all the 10 mils going around the timing cover. Now that all the timing bolts and timing cover bolts are loose, including that 14 right here, that one stays in the cover until you pull the cover out, because you can't back it out all the way because it bottoms out on the subframe. So yeah, we're about to pull it out. Now that the cover's out the way, we'll go ahead and bust loose the 2 sprockets. And then we're going to take our tensioner off and the guides and get the chain out the way. And while that's all that's out the way, I'm going to go ahead and clean my gasket surface and then change the sprockets, put the new chain on, put the guides in, and install a new tensioner, and the engine will be ready to go. All I have to do is clean the cover, put some Honda Bond on the cover, and then stab it back in there. Now that I have both the cam gears loose, I'm going to go ahead and take off the tensioner and get all the guides off and get the chain out of there. That way we can take the cam gears off all the way, change them out, start putting them back together. You want to make sure this is in the unlocked position, which is the inner keyway to the right of the outer keyway. Alright, we got the outer keyway on, but we still want to leave it unlocked. And actually, now I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and torque both of them right now, because I can't put the chain on until this intake gear is locked. I can't lock it till the bolt's tight. First we're going to do the intake gear. It's 83 foot-pounds. Alright, now that one's tight, we'll go ahead and lock this cam gear. It's locked. And I'm going to change my torque to 51 foot-pound for the exhaust gear. Both gears are torqued. The timing is fully back together and the surface is clean on the engine. So it's going to be easier for me to explain to you what I did than it was to show you. It took a while. So the first thing I did was took the chain and took the two painted links and matched them up where the dots on both gears were in the center of those two links. Alright, once I had that done, I went ahead and put all my guides on. The top guide and two side guides. The side guide on the back really helps keep the chain on the back gear instead of the top. So once I had all that done, I went down to the bottom and had my girlfriend up top working the cam. So she just had to pull it slightly towards her. And while she was doing that, I lined up the single link at the bottom on the crank with the dot on the crank and put it on there. And then as soon as I had it on there, my problem was the cams kept wanting to move because they were like right on a lobe. And as soon as it was like right at that point of going to the low side of the lobe, right off the high side. So it was real tricky. It kept jumping. It jumped probably like 15 times and I had to redo it. But what helped me was as soon as I got that bottom link matched up on a crank, I would hold the rear tensioner or the rear guide as if the tensioner was there to keep pressure on the chain, and then I also had her stay still up here with the cams because, like I said, it was right on that point of going to the low side of the lobe. So yeah, once I had that, I held that, and then I put the tensioner in and tightened it down, and then pulled the pin out the tensioner and let the tensioner do its job. And here we are. It's timed. I rotated it a few times. It's ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do is go inside, change the crank seal, and then add the little O-ring for, I don't know, I guess it's an oil passage. No, it's down there. I think it's a water passage. But we're going to add the O-ring for that, and then I add our Honda Bond to the timing cover and come out here and install it. Before I put this timing cover back on, I'm going to go ahead and change the crank seal, and then I got a new O-ring for right here. We'll clean this up, wipe it down, change the seals, and put some Honda Bond on it, let it dry for 1 minute, and then we're going to go stab it on the car.
flashing bright in my eyes. Look up to the sky and I got this relief inside. Then there's no need to hide. I'm going all the way up, up.
Once you got all your Honda bond on, the two things you do not want to forget to put on first is your washer that goes behind the crank seal, your O-ring, and the third thing is this 14mm bolt that you can't get in unless you put it in with the timing cover.
If you need me, I believe that we can grow. And it's feeling like I've
Now that all our 10mm bolts around the timing cover and our one 14mm bolt on the back side of the cover are torqued down, we're going to go ahead and put our cam sensor back, which goes right here in the center with our long studded bolt. Next, we're going to put our lower or inner engine mount. Yep, then on the front of the engine, all you got is the belt, the crank pulley, and the engine mount, and then put the power steering pump on. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out this top end, get it all back together. I got new valve cover gasket and spark plugs. All right, now that it has been a day since I put the timing cover on, the RTV is now ready and dry, so we're gonna start it up and see if it's still making a sound. I hope not. Do you?
I hope not.
Shit, I did the work. I hope not. Hey! I didn't fuck up the timing, because I didn't put it at top dead center when I did it, but hey, it runs. Now that it's running, I'm gonna go ahead and check and make sure nothing's leaking. It's dry down here. Dry down that side. And as far as I can tell, it's dry up here. Alright, we're gonna kill it one more time, make sure the chatter's not there. I didn't hear it the first time, but I want y'all to hear it. No chatter. Well, that's it for the Honda. I hope you enjoyed this video, or it helps you do the timing yourself on your car to help you save some money. It's gonna help me because I know my girlfriend's gonna be happy if she got her car back. She's been missing it a lot. So yeah, we're happy. All I gotta do is throw the engine covers back on, but I'm actually gonna pressure wash and stuff for her while she's gone because she wanted it done. But I didn't tell her I was doing it. So, you know, getting them brownie points while I can. Put those on, throw the skid pan back up, put our tire on, and it's done. That's a wrap. I appreciate y'all for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, hit the subscribe button anyways. But see y'all next time. We're gonna be working on the trailer again and getting ready for the drift season. Peace out.